Hello everyone out there. After completing 2 chapters, now we are into the third chapter, an interesting chapter in chemistry, chemical reactions and equations. Okay. Now in this chapter, we'll be talking about various molecules, compounds, okay, and we know that these molecules and compounds all are coming from atoms. And in the last chapter, we were very much happy with learning lot of atoms. So which are the atoms that we learned? Hydrogen, main atom. Then we learned about sodium, we learned about chlorine, okay? The n number of atoms. When these atoms combine, they form molecules. Now molecules are of two types. Molecule, for example, if I am talking about molecules, it can be divided as hydrogen molecule, this is also a molecule, whereas water molecule. Now there is a difference between these two. This is molecule formed which have the same atoms. This molecule is formed from the same atom of element hydrogen, whereas this molecule is formed by 2 atoms of hydrogen and 1 atom of oxygen. Okay, so you understood the difference between atoms of elements or molecules of elements and molecules of compound. In molecules of elements, the atoms are same, whereas in molecules of compound, the atoms are different. Another example of molecule of compound, we are very much okay with NaCl or common salt, sodium chloride. Another compounds that you have seen, iron oxide or simple one, magnesium oxide. These all are compounds. These all are compounds. So in compounds, what you find is, what do you find? The molecules of these compounds are made up of different atoms of elements. 1 atom of magnesium, 1 atom of oxygen. Whereas if you are talking about elements like hydrogen molecule, fluorine gas, chlorine gas, these all are made up of, these molecules are made up of same atoms. Okay, so that is the difference here. That next we will learn about what determines, we wrote lot of molecular formula. So what are the factors that we should know when you have to write about molecular formula? First thing that you should know if you are going to write molecular formula, you should know the symbol of various elements. You should know the symbol. And the second main thing is that you should know the valency. So after learning this valency and symbol, we are getting into chemical reactions and equation. What is valency? Valency depends upon the number of valence electron in the outermost shell. So let me discuss about valency. So I said if you want to write molecular formula of various compounds, you should know the symbol as well as the valency. What are valency now? Now suppose there is 1 electron in the outermost shell of an element. 1 electron in the outermost shell. So the valency will also be 1 electron. So here I'll write valence electron. The electrons which are present in the outermost shell are called as valence electron. Valence electron, and here valency. If there is 1 electron in the outermost shell, the valency will also be 1. If there is 2 electrons in the outermost shell, the valency will also be 2. No? If there is 3 electrons in the outermost shell, the valency will also be 3. The number of electrons donated, accepted or shared determines the valency of element. So here if the atom is having 1 electron in the outermost shell, then it will try to lose that 1 electron. So the valency becomes 1. 2 electrons, it will try to lose the 2 electrons so that it can get into the stable form. So valency is 2. If there are 3 electrons in the outermost shell, 3. And then comes the main star, that is carbon. Okay, carbon has this property. 4 electrons in the outermost shell. You remember, no, the atomic number of carbon? Atomic number of carbon is 6. So the electronic configuration is 2, 4. It can either accept 4 electrons or donate 4 electrons or share 4 electrons. Okay. So here, whatever it does, the valency becomes 4. Then, if an element has 5 valence electron in the outermost shell, 5 valence electron, it will try to attain the stable octet form. So, it needs 8 to attain the stability. So, 5 plus 3 will give it 8. So, here the valency will be 3. Similarly, for 6, needs 2 more, valency 2. For 7, 1 more to complete the octet, valency 1, and for 8 means it is already stable. So, if you want to write the molecular formula of any compound, first thing you should know the symbol of that element, and second thing you should know the valency, so that you can decide the cations or anions or ions participating in that reaction. Understood? One example I'll give you. One example of magnesium oxide. Now here we all know the symbol Mg and O. Instead of writing Mag in words, magnesium oxide is very tedious. So what we do is we use the symbol of the element, okay, to write the compound. Now here how the compound got the formula MgO? We know that Mg here plus sign and O is also minus. So it balances by cross multiplication by considering the valency. We wrote the formula as MgO. Another example, NaCl plus and minus. Okay. Same way here plus and here minus, we got MgO, plus and minus we got NaCl. So like this, considering various valencies of elements, we can write down the molecular formula of compounds. So you should know the term, you should know the concept of valency. Now I will display few reactions which I got from my day-to-day activities, which are again mentioned in your textbook. So I tried my level best to keep the reaction same. You go through those reactions, not out of the world reaction, which we see every day. These are the reactions which we see every day. Just rather than saying, I thought of taking it, okay, showing it live, and we will decide which all reactions are physical reactions and which all reactions are chemical reactions. So have a look at these reactions. So I hope you saw the glimpses of certain reactions which I tried to compile for you. After going through those reactions, let us discuss. Some reactions were physical reactions, whereas some reactions were chemical reactions. Chemical reactions are the main topic that we are going to cover in this topic. Okay. What are physical reactions and what are chemical reactions? You know it better than me, but just for my convenience, I will discuss it once again. Physical reactions are the reactions wherein the substances that are participating in it can be retained. It is a reversible reaction. A reversible reaction is called as physical change or physical reaction, where the composition of substances taking part remains the same. In a physical reaction, the composition of substance taking part in that remains the same. Means how it used to be, the same look you will get it after the reaction also. The same taste also same, smell same, appearance will be the same in physical reaction. Whereas in chemical change, what happens is, the total composition of substances participating in it changes, no? And it is an irreversible reaction. You can't get the things back. No, it is an irreversible reaction. So you will have to, this is your assignment, you have to make this difference between physical change and chemical change. I gave you orally, you have to make a note of it. I said in physical reactions, the composition of substances do not change. Whereas in chemical reaction, the composition of substances changes. Okay, very important point. Second point what we discussed is physical reaction is reversible. You can get it back, again do it, and for example, melting of ice. No, it was a physical reaction. Ice can be converted into water, water can again be converted into ice. Or melting of wax. Wax can be again molded into and made it into a candle. But there is something more to it that I will discuss. Then chemical reactions are irreversible. You will not be able to get the things back once it undergoes the chemical change. Okay, these were the main things. Then some more points for physical change. The main parameters that is affecting physical change is temperature or pressure. No? Temperature changes, physical change happens. Same way, pressure also plays a role in determining a physical change. Whereas in chemical change, you need a proper setup, you need some reactors, no, which will bring out the reaction. For example, fermentation. No? So you can't just ask the idli batter or dosa batter ferment. It will not get fermented. For that you have to keep it whole night, no, so that it gets fermented. No? So that is again a chemical reaction. So few differences that I told you. You can search, you can get in more points of differentiation between physical change and chemical change. So from the video, from the things that you saw, let us decide which is physical and which is chemical. Very simple. Being an introduction, I don't want to complicate things. No? So it is a very simple chapter. You just have to understand chemical reactions means the composition of the substances changes. So I have written the reactions which you saw just now. We will classify it into physical and chemical. Ice to water. Water properties will remain the same. The composition of water is not changing. So it will come in physical change. I know you got it before me. Cooking food. Cooking food. From the food I will not get my turmeric back. My salt where I can't regain it back. The composition of vegetables. No? The composition changes. No? So cooking of food you will consider it as a chemical change. Okay? Ripening of fruit, beautiful pear, it was fully ripened. So that ripening of fruit, it is because of we have heard about the artificial ripening done nowadays. The fruits that we get are artificially ripened. So we use some certain chemicals for that process. So it is a clear example of chemical change. Ripening of fruit is a chemical change. Milk to curd, again. For milk to turn into curd, you have some reactions. Curd, we can't get the milk back from the curd. No, not possible. So it is also a chemical change. Then we have evaporation of water. Evaporation of water, you saw the boiling of water, the water getting converted into vapor. That is a physical change. Be freezed into it. When you cool vapor, you get water back. So properties of water is remaining the same. The properties of water remain the same. So it is a physical change. Digestion of food. The food that we eat undergoes various digestion process. It is acted upon by enzymes inside the body. From the moment you take it in, it is acted upon by enzymes. So there is chemical reactions taking place. So digestion of food will come in chemical change. Then we have size reduction of room freshener I have taken. Where nowadays we use various room fresheners which are harmful for us. It can lead to various breathing disorders like asthma and all. So it is not preferred to use these artificial air fresheners and all because When it reacts, it leads to formation of chemicals like formaldehyde, which is very dangerous for human beings. Formaldehyde is formed. Carbon that these air fresheners, when they react, the compound formed is formaldehyde, which is not good for our health. So it is clear example of a chemical change. That is the same like naphthalene balls. A gas is released. Then we have burning of matchstick. Yeah. Again, best example. If you keep the matchstick close to your nose and you try to lit it, you will feel a certain kind of suffocation of all of a sudden. No? The gas which you inhale, you feel a kind of suffocation. It is because of the sudden attack of carbon dioxide gas. You know that, you might be knowing, as you lit a matchstick, the gas which is given out is carbon dioxide gas. You will not get the matchstick back. The carbon dioxide gas also mixes with the atmosphere. So here, carbon dioxide gas is formed, so burning of matchstick again will come in chemical change. So hope you got a better view about physical and chemical change. Then more examples of physical and chemical change that you come across. You can make a list of it. One reaction which I missed out. As you can see nowadays during this rainy season, you see that the grills of your windows are getting rusted. No? The rust, brown colored layer which is formed on the grill, that is rust. So that rust is again a chemical reaction, result of a chemical reaction. Take with an easy reaction. In your 9th standard, you have learned burning of magnesium ribbon. So magnesium ribbon, when you heat it, when you burn it, it's called as combustion. No? So when you burn it, it reacts with the oxygen, and what you get is magnesium oxide. White color powdered magnesium oxide. Now here, what is happening? This is clear example of a chemical reaction. What is a chemical reaction? A chemical reaction is a process in which the bonds in substances break. The bonds in the substances break, leading to formation of a new bond. Okay, here new bonds are formed. Chemical reaction is a process in which substances undergo bond breaking and they are transformed into a new substance by formation of new bond. Here, the bond between these two breaks and they are getting converted into a new substance by formation of new bonds. This process is called as chemical reaction. So you have to learn this definition well. Now here in this chemical reaction, the substances that are participating, that are on the left side, they are called as reactants, and the substances which is on the right side, or the thing that you get, new bond which is formed, this new thing which is on the right side are called as products. This class, just we did an introduction of our topic wherein we saw various reactions which were physical, various reactions which were chemical reactions. What is meant by a chemical reaction? In the coming days, we will discuss more about chemical reactions and how to write the equation. Okay, till we meet for the next time. Take care. Bye.